everybody, Dutchman Mods and Repairs back, and I'm going to do a video today on some filter replacement. This is on our express water filtration system. We're going to replace the sediment filter, and I want to go through a few things here just to kind of notice. We're on city water. It's been a little over a year. I know they say to replace these every 6 months if you have a reverse osmosis system as part of this. We don't have that, and I'm kind of gauging things. I'm still kind of in the learning process of how long does a filter, can it last? Obviously, if you're on well water, you probably would have to replace much sooner than what we would. But one of the things I always like to reference is if you think you're on city water and you think you've got just this immaculate water, I can promise you don't. Is it better than, maybe place A than B or whatever? Could be, but I'm still telling you, you're going to have stuff in the water that you don't want. And some of it's going to get into your appliances, your water heater, the screens on your faucets. It's going to build up and scale somewhat in the piping throughout your house, and your dishwasher and your clothes washing machine, all that kind of stuff. Just look at this down here to give you a perspective. I have no idea what those tiny little black specks are, whether it's just stuff that's accumulated, small pieces into big pieces, or things that have flaked off that just come through the piping from the city. We're going to replace it. You can see the pressure's down just a little bit. Okay, normally we sit at about 75. So, and that can fluctuate a little bit based on, like, we have seen sometimes when pressure is a little higher on the inlet side. But anyhow, that's where we're at, and we'll see where we're at and replace the filter. And I'm going to get things set up here. I'll go through the gist of what I'm going to do. I'm going to shut off the supply side. I'm also going to shut off the return. I could bypass if I wanted to keep water going to the whole house, but I'm pretty much home alone right now, and so I'm not too worried about that. But I want to shut those two off. I'm going to shut the supply off first, right here, and I'm going to go open a faucet, probably upstairs first, just to relieve pressure. Then I'll shut this off and prevent any backflow. So I want to remove the filter, but I'm also going to push the pressure release button. I've heard some horror stories, people talking about stuff spraying out on them. Now, maybe they didn't release pressure, but I want to see what that's going to do, and I'll have that on the video as well. I'll have a towel or something over here just in case. Maybe I get a little wet. You guys will get entertained, but whatever. We're here to show you how we're doing things. And then we'll use our little filter wrench, which is right there, to get this sucker off and get the new one in. So let me get set up and we'll be right back. Okay, so all the preliminary stuff I have in place. I've got the replacement filter. I'll get that unwrapped here shortly. It's the sediment filter, 5 micron. And little pail underneath here. Obviously, the way I have my system, I can't get, anything bigger underneath there. Yeah, so that's going to be, we'll see how that goes. But that's just a skinny little, I don't know what the dimensions are, but you can gauge more or less where it's at there. I'm going to get a towel kind of up in there just in case. But here's my idea, or my thoughts. Going to shut off supply. Okay, then I'm going to go upstairs. And then I'm going to shut up, sorry. Yeah, then I'm going to go to my highest point in the house. I'm going to open up a sink and let the pressure bleed off. And then when I do that, I'm actually going to leave that one open, come down here, shut off the return, go back upstairs and close that faucet. And here's the reason I'm doing that is because I don't want to drain the whole system down. I mean, I could easily just walk about 20 feet away and do a kitchen sink, but I don't want all that water through the whole house to drain all the way out or wherever it may, it's gonna drain all the way from the second story all the way down to that sink. So I'm just worried about pressure at this point. Okay, I'm gonna do that, then we'll do the pressure release button. We'll see if that generates any action, and then we'll do the filter. Shut off the supply, went upstairs to the highest point outside of my shower, sink in the bathroom, and opened that up to let the pressure out. It only took, I don't know, 3-4 seconds. As you can see, gauge is reading 0. We're gonna close that guy off there, leave the one upstairs off, and then let me get a couple towels in place, and then we're gonna push the red button. Okay, right back. All right, so we'll go live here. this towel just around the backside. And then we're going to push the red button, okay? Now, I've read some people push the red button and they had water spraying everywhere. The only way I can see how that would be an issue is if they actually didn't bleed pressure off the system. But hey, we're going to find out. Ready? Here we go. Okay, little, maybe just a smidge of pressure. And you may have noticed on the gauges, so there was just a little bit still left in there. These were like reading, 1, 2 PSI. I can't remember where that one was at, maybe 1. But just a little bit of water came out. I don't know that it actually like sprayed out, but some did come out. Get this up here. And then these are always righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, blah, blah, blah. So we're gonna, there we go. And it's pretty much hand loose. Now keep in mind this isn't gonna be just like light as a feather. Because you've got, I don't know how much water would be in here. Maybe a couple gallons. So it's gonna be, I think water is, okay, so we're getting some water coming out. So note to self, make sure you got a little bucket there. Because you're gonna get a little bit, right, that's gonna potentially drain back. But I think, anyways, back to my original thought before I got, hey, a little excitement for the channel there, right? Might get a little wet. It's all right. That wasn't too bad. That was, and before my little scatterbrain gets carried away, I think water is like, whatever it is, 8 pounds a gallon. So there's probably maybe 2 or 3 gallons in there. So just keep that in mind. I'm gonna take that filter out, set it. I'm gonna run this outside real quick just to drain. All right, back. All right, hold on 1 second here. I got an open question here. This little piece here, I'm not sure what that is, to be honest, whether it's a guide or something that's supposed to fit up in here. As a reference, you can see these little kind of holes all the way around. And you have a recessed, hopefully this shows that you've got kind of a recessed area where my finger sits down in, and then the outside's kind of flat. So the recessed area, I'm thinking that that's just part of the guidance for the filter housing. You kind of keep it, because it wants the exact diameter. Hopefully you can see that cup of tea. City water after a year, whatever. Okay, so we got the filter housing here. I'm gonna lift it up a little bit just to kind of show you. It's just as simple as resting it down in there. It's got kind of a center piece down there, but it doesn't like lock in or anything. Okay, so that plastic ring, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, bring the camera in close. I put it in like you're seeing here, so the indentation, the solid wall part is to the outside. You can see that. and then the lipped side is inside, and there's little black tabs in here all the way around. I don't know, about 8 of them or so, and they kind of snap in to the little slots that go all the way around the ring. So that's what I'm going to go with for now. All right, let's go ahead and put this back in. One thing I did fail to mention that you'll want to do is on the top. First of all, there's a black O-ring that goes along. This is your sealing O-ring. Should have done that. Wiped a little bit of. Just take a little bit of. Remove it, clean it, and then just take a slight little bit of like Vaseline, light Vaseline, just enough to get on there to give it a little bit of lubrication for when it's installing. Kind of give it a little bit of upwards pressure as you're tightening it. I don't think this is right. Hold on. I like the videos when they, like in a minute and a half, they show you how easy it is to do this. So I can tell you one of the things I already don't like is that there's really no guidance for the filters the same on both sides. There is like a little tab on the bottom, the filter kind of sits in, but not really a whole lot up top here for guidance. If I was going to be honest, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Because how do I make sure my filter is centered and not cocked off to the side? I can already tell you I don't like that. So let me make sure I'm actually still recording. So like I said, there's really not a whole lot that guides us up here. If you look up, there's actually a little bit of shifting that can take place. So you can end up with your filter slightly off. It'd be nice to know if there was a way that you could, they had like a spacer that would sit down in here that would actually guide that. I mean, it is partially guided up in there by that plastic ring that I was having such an issue with. Snug that down. You don't need to ape this on. Just get it good and snug, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I've got the faucet upstairs still opened up. I'm gonna open up my valve just a little bit. I'm gonna bring pressure up, let it fill up the filter here slow. And of course, you know, the biggie is leaks. Trying to get your hands around the ring here. Hopefully you can see the gauges building up. Open up the outlet all the way to the sink upstairs. Obviously there's going to be some air that's going to kind of burp through. I'm going to slowly bring it up to full pressure. Got some water left over from when I took the filter off. Just gonna make sure that stuff's all wiped up so it doesn't send me into a panic if I happen to see water here in a bit. Now, one of the things, if you've watched any of my other videos, especially the install video, the one thing I don't have is this, what I'm calling my flush pipe here, because you're supposed to run water for like 5 or 10 minutes to flush things. Since this, and that's really only, I think, for like the carbon based or the other filters. This is just the sediment filter. Give it a minute or two for stuff to kind of work through. But that's what I had this for. This is eventually going to be tied in outside to flush into the driveway. That way I could do it right here, could do it quick, and I don't have a noisy sink running somewhere. Barring any other issues, this is the filter change. I know it's drastically longer than what it should be, and I apologize for that in a way, but hopefully I'm going to post all this crap so you can see everything that I went through. Don't forget the Vaseline on the O-ring, and I'm also going to go ahead and order a pack of those O-rings so I have them on hand, and I'll just put them right here in case I get a leak, because at some point that's going to get some kind of a memory to it, and it's not going to seal very well after, I don't know, 4 or 5 filter changes. But I'd rather be prepared for that, and those don't cost that much to have on hand. We'll keep an eye on this filter, and again, this was just over a year from when I put the system in. And a picture's worth 1,000 words, so those videos and whatnot that I showed you what was in there, that was from city water. Hey, I'm glad that stuff is caught in here and it's not in my other appliances or down my gullet. So hopefully this video was helpful. If so, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content. If you have any questions or comments, let's keep the comments constructive, please. If you've got a question about anything that I've done here, you can leave that too, and I will do my very best to get back with you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching.